back in May, I had the absolute pleasure of going to New York City for YouTube NextUp Creator Camp, and it really was just the trip of a lifetime. Earlier this year, I applied, and later that month, I found out that I won, and before I knew it, I was on a plane to New York, which is silly, because New York's not that far, but when I got there, I just had the most amazing time. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the trip and also tell you a little bit more about YouTube NextUp, the program, in case you have a YouTube channel and you maybe would be interested in applying. That way you'll have a better idea of whether or not it's worth your time, and you'll have a clearer picture of at least what they did this year. They host YouTube NextUp creator camps all over the world and pretty regularly. When I applied, they had some pretty specific guidelines for what you needed to do in order to be eligible to apply. For this year, we had to be between 10,000 and 100,000 subscribers. My channel's been around for a while. I've been making YouTube videos for more than 11 years now, and I've actually applied for NextUp 3 times, and the first 2 times I got turned down, so it was a great surprise when I got in the 3rd time. It was really fulfilling for me to be working on a platform for so long and then to finally have them look at me and say, you have potential, we want to help you out. They picked around 20 channels for NextUp 2017 in the US and Canada, and I had never actually heard of any of the other winners before I went there, so I looked up everybody's channels ahead of time, and they're all amazing. Everybody does something completely different, and everyone's really creative and really good at what they do. And it was really interesting being there with all of the other winners who really had very different approaches to YouTube. It can be a very solitary thing creating content for the internet because I'm mostly talking to my camera and then sitting on my computer, and I do occasionally get to go out to in-person events like my concerts and VidCon, but this was different. It was a total whirlwind. Right when I got to the hotel, I ran into a couple people who I recognized from NextUp, and they invited me out to dinner because they were just on their way out. So I thought, yeah, okay, let's go make some new friends. Let's go explore New York City. So I finally arrived at NextUp in New York City. I'm here with Nick and John, and we just went out for dinner, and now we're gonna check out Times Square because it's here, and why not? I'm super excited. Tomorrow everything gets started, and it's gonna be really, really fun. Are you guys excited?
I'm super nervous, but excited.
Yeah. One of them was JK from the channel KoaliPops, and he is a cake decorator, and his videos are so beautiful. And he does a bunch of nerd-themed cakes, so I was really excited to talk to somebody else who is inspired by movies and books and stuff like that. And Nick is really good with playing cards. He can throw them, he can do all kinds of tricks with them. He's a playing card artist. I didn't even know that that existed before I went here. The first day that we got to the YouTube space, we got to walk through Chelsea Market and then get to this weird elevator that said YouTube on it, and that took us up to the YouTube space. And there we got to meet the whole staff, a bunch of people who work for YouTube, as well as all of the other creators. And then we got a tour of the YouTube space, and I had never been to any of the YouTube spaces before. I knew that they were available to me if I needed a place to film something, but I just don't live close enough to any of them, and I had never really had an opportunity to go and use one, so it was very cool to learn all about it. Every day that we were there was filled with activities and classes and workshops, and it was just completely jam-packed. I learned so much. Everything from camera techniques to lighting to metadata to branding, just anything that you would want to know as a YouTube creator, they covered it. And this is the sort of thing that I've been doing pretty much on my own since I started. I didn't come into this with very much knowledge originally. I was 17 years old. I was just making videos for fun, and I didn't even know if anybody would be watching them. And over time, I figured things out on my own, looking up tutorials and things like that. So it was really interesting and very helpful to have professionals actually answer my questions, and they just taught all of us in just a really interactive and hands-on way, and it was so helpful to me because I knew that I could just go home and incorporate all of that knowledge into things that I'm already doing by myself. So if you're like me and you feel like you want to up your production value, you see what other people are doing on YouTube and you're wondering how you can make your videos look like those, this was so helpful to me, and I am really excited to actually put it all to use. At the end of the night, after we finished all of our stuff for the day, they usually scheduled some kind of social activity so we could all get to know each other and have a good time, and the first night we did a paint night. Everybody had a totally different interpretation of the painting they showed us, and it was really just a silly, creative thing for all of us to do together, and I had so much fun. One really cool thing about this particular creator camp was that NBC Universal wanted to get involved, so they came in and spoke to us about a a bunch of things. And then on the Wednesday, we actually got to go to 30 Rock and see NBC Studios. We're in a cab on the way to NBC Studios. We're getting a tour and there's gonna be a party there, and I don't even know what to expect, but I'm very excited. Look who I've got with me.
Hey guys.
I've got Megan MacKay and 70 Pounds of Life, Marissa, and we are having a really good time.
Can you tell we're having a cab party?
Yes.
We are. We're having a cab vlogging party. Can you believe it?
We toured it and they had a party for us there where we got to talk to a bunch of NBC execs, and it was really scary and amazing. At the end of the week, we got to put all of our skills to use and we got to produce videos in the space using their professional equipment and helping each other out. I've actually already posted my video that I made in the YouTube space that day. It was an episode of my interview series, What's Your Whimsy? And I got to interview Megan MacKay, who is a comedian and she's wonderful. I knew I wanted to do a collab for my production challenge, and I'm really glad that she agreed to be part of it. Once all of our videos were shot and edited, we got to watch them on the big screen in the lobby at the YouTube space. We had a little screening party with champagne, and they were all really good. I'm gonna put as many of them as I can find in a playlist for all of you so you can watch them and see what we made while we were there. After that, we had a little graduation ceremony, and it was really emotional because it was the end of the week and we didn't want to say goodbye to everyone. We just finished our NextUp graduation ceremony. We watched all the videos that everybody made. It was amazing. Drew's really sad. I'm also really sad.
Lauren, I loved yours. It was so beautiful.
Thanks,
She's such a great interviewer. All the right questions.
Thanks so much. Oh, this is Drew, by the way. His channel's ThatViolaKid, and he's amazing.
We got to collapse, and you live in Rhode Island, right?
Yep.
I'll make a trip. It'll be fun.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Yes.
I'll see you later.
Bye. And then we finished off the week with a big party. I learned so much from being part of YouTube NextUp, just the technical knowledge and the camera equipment. Oh, I almost forgot. They gave us money to upgrade our production equipment. My camera has served me well for a really long time, but I am so appreciative that I got to get a new camera and new audio equipment. I had never even used external audio for a video before, except for music videos, which are already recorded ahead of time. And lately I haven't been able to afford my own equipment because all the money that I make from my YouTube channel goes right into like living expenses and taking care of my baby. It wasn't going to be an option for me to just go buy all of this stuff without YouTube NextUp. I am incredibly appreciative to everybody at YouTube and to everybody at the YouTube space who helped us and taught us. Also, what I didn't necessarily anticipate was the emotional impact that this would have on me. I definitely struggle to stay motivated, and as a relatively new mom, I don't have as much time to spend on my videos as I used to, so I can get very easily frustrated. But this whole program and all of these people that I spent a week with have reminded me why I do this in the first place. And they've reminded me that what I do is worth it. And I just wanted to thank everybody who made it so special for me. If this program sounds like something that would be helpful to you, I highly, highly encourage you to apply for it if you're eligible. Check out all of the other winners. I'm going to link to all of their channels in the video description below in case you're curious who I got to hang out with for a week. I just wanted to make this video because I wanted to make sure I would remember this forever. I never want to forget what that felt like. I hope that this was helpful if you're considering applying for YouTube NextUp. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.